Alright, what I'm going to go through in this video is how to send an invoice back for review. And the situation that we have is that we got an invoice for the reference shelf, and I did not realize that the reference shelf had more than one title, and that we get several different titles with this. We get a national debate topic, we get a representative American speeches, and we get 4 or 5 of these special topic monographs that are all for $3.45, but they didn't list all that information on the invoice. So what happened was that we created a purchase order line and a PO for the representative American speeches. And that's going to be this right here. But I thought that a representative American speeches was $345, and we need to add the other titles to this invoice. But we already closed the invoice. We already received the material and closed the invoice, and so you can't go back and edit the price of $3.45 if the invoice is closed. So if you look in the Knowledge Center, it says that the instructions to send invoices back to review are to go to Acquisitions, Receiving and Invoicing and Waiting for Payment, and then select Set Back to Review. And that is this part right here. And it says you can do that if invoices are closed or waiting for payment. They can manually be set back for review. If you do that and you select waiting for payment, you can search for a couple of different things like PO line reference or invoice reference number, invoice number, all of these things, but you cannot pull up the set back to review option. So here's the invoice number. You can't pull it up there. So what you have to do is just ignore everything it says right here. This is not helpful. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our invoices option here, enter the invoice number, and pull this up, and you'll see it says status closed. You want to click the drop down menu and click set back to review on the find invoice page, and then click confirm when you get the pop-up message that says, are you sure you want to set this invoice to review? And go ahead and confirm it. Now we can go in here and edit the invoice. So again, going back to the Knowledge Center, there is a section here that says to edit the payment details of an invoice. What you want to do is go to Acquisitions, Receiving and Invoicing, Waiting for Payment, locate the invoices whose payment details you want to edit, and then it says select edit in the row actions list. Okay. This is also a bad idea, because if you go to actions, actions, waiting for payment, there is no way to locate this invoice on this waiting for payment invoices page. So these instructions you can also ignore. Alright, so what we want to do instead is I just went back to the home page. I'm going to search by invoices, and that pulls up this page we've seen before. Click the ellipsis, click where it says in review, and then click the ellipsis, and then click edit. And now it takes you to a page where you can do things like edit the invoice amount, and also edit the invoice line. So if you click the invoice line tab on this page, what we're going to do is we're going to delete the representative American speeches, and I'm going to make a note that that's PO line 353. And I'm just going to start over completely with this invoice. But before I do all this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the other titles that we purchased from H.W. Wilson, such as the South China Sea conflict and the LGBTQ in the 21st century and prescription drug abuse and things like that in the catalog. And then I'm going to associate these with this particular invoice by clicking on Add Invoice Line, and I'm gonna have to create a purchase order line for each of these. So I'll be able to go in here and type in the purchase order line, and you'll notice that I had just changed the price from $3.45 to $75. I did that before I started recording the video, unfortunately, but let me show you how I did that. So I deleted it. It said $3.45. What I had done is I'd gone to order lines, and I put in the order line, and from here you have to click edit, and this takes you to a page where you can edit the list price. And before I did anything, it was $3.45. I just went in here and typed in $75, and then I clicked on save. And so that's all I did. So right now we have this one purchase order line, and it says waiting for renewal, and we can add this to our invoice. And so I'm going to stop the video and create the other purchase order lines, and then I'm going to come back and I'll do another video on how to add all these to that invoice.